Introduce the Vice President, Kamala Harris.
I say many times, especially to young folks that I mentor, we can think of history as being a relay race. And, of course, there are then those who carried the baton before us, and then they passed the baton to us. And we who are in this room right now currently hold the baton. And I do believe that the ancestors, that the founders, and we are talking about the founding mothers and fathers of our country, by the way, I do believe that they didn't necessarily think that we would end the race, but charged us with a responsibility to do as much and as best as we could while we carry the baton for our part of the race. I think, of course, about the great Frederick Douglass and all that meant in terms of him having an extraordinary ability to articulate the truths. And often when one articulates the truths, one has to also point out the hypocrisies with hopefully a way that is about motivating us to reconcile and do better. This work, while we also work to counter aggression from Iran and its proxies, prevent regional escalation, and promote regional integration.
The Biden White House has agreed to swap prisoners, 5 Iranians for 5 Americans, and unfreeze $6 billion in Iranian money. Secretary of State Antony Blinken sealed the deal last week. But members of Congress were not notified until Monday, when Americans commemorated 22 years since the 9/11 terrorist attacks. According to the deal, Iran is only permitted to use the unfrozen funds to purchase food, medicine, or other humanitarian items. Sure.
President Biden and I have demonstrated there is a smarter way. When it comes to America's national security,
war is peace. We need to understand what we are staring down in this country. If Donald Trump is elected president of the United States, we do not know if there will be a verifiable next election that has integrity. He already tried to, we saw on January 6th, he tried to overturn the results of a presidential election by force, by inciting a riot. And I think we need to be very, very realistic about the grave impacts of a Donald Trump election. It is not a joke. It is not a game. We need to protect our democracy, and ideally it's going to be on progressive values.
Do you have any concerns about his age? Do you have any concerns about whether or not he should be the nominee?
I mean, I think right now, when it comes to the president's age, folks are talking about how he's 81, but we have to look at, first of all, Donald Trump is around the same age as
77,
yeah. He's 77 years old. They could have gone to high school together. And beyond that, Donald Trump has 91 indictments. And what I know who I'm going to choose. It's going to be one of the most successful presidents in modern American history.
We're starting to survey how young Americans are feeling about the economy ahead of the election, and I pulled out two of the answers. How would you rate the economy? 41% say poor, 38% fair, not a whole lot of good, and definitely not a whole lot of excellent. And that gets to this sort of quandary for the Biden administration.
We ask voters, what do you think of the job he's doing? And look at that, Kristen, 37% approve and now 60% disapprove.
And we should say that is the lowest approval rating since former President George W. Bush's second term.
The issues that are driving this, too, the economy, no surprise, we've been talking about it, but look at that advantage for Trump, 22 points. Wow. And securing the border here, folks, a very important Trump with a 35-point advantage.
76% of voters have major or moderate concerns about Biden not having the mental and physical health for a second term. That includes more than half of Democrats.
The owner of Blossom Shop in Midtown Tulsa tells us inflation's driven up her costs. She's had to raise the price of roses 10% just to turn a profit.
The price of vases have gone up. The price of freight has gone up. A lot of wholesalers have added a service fee if you pay with a credit card now. So that's an additional 3 to 4%. And so our price keeps going up.
She says she's selling items that she makes, like soaps and bath bombs, to keep her prices down.
Jewish space lasers.